Hello, this is Tlaloc Venancio, and I am going to talk to you about academic language in mathematics with a little help from Academic Conversations, the book that we are reading in the class. So, number one, academic language in math has 5 language demands: function, uh, vocabulary, discourse, syntax, and mathematical precision. From our book, Academic Conversations, there are 5 core skills of academic conversations. Number one is to elaborate and clarify. Number two is support ideas with examples. Number three, build on or challenge a partner's idea, paraphrase, and synthesize conversation points. So some of the examples I will give you have these core skills of academic conversations. Functions. The definition of functions is the purpose for which language is used, and the content and language focus of learning tasks often represented by the active verbs within the learning outcomes. For example, the active verb of compare, explain, and describe. When you're using that in mathematics, uh, those verbs need to come into action. From the academic conversations to using a bucket of lies activity. So in this activity, students form groups of 5 to 7, and the teacher has prearranged problems on the little bucket, and as students draw a problem from the bucket, in their groups, they need to determine whether or not that problem has the correct solutions or in the correct process. So after that, they need to explain to the class if it does or if it doesn't. So this is a good way for students to compare, explain, and to describe any word problem that the teacher or any math problem that the teacher has on the bucket list. And some other examples of this bucket list: if the problem is correct and the processes are right, they could explain another way of doing the math problem. Vocabulary. The definition is words and phrases with subject-specific meaning that differ from meaning used in everyday life. So general academic vocabulary used across disciplines, and subject-specific words and or symbols defined for use in the discipline. So for an example of words that are used everywhere are table, ruler, and times. And then an example of general academic vocabulary used across all disciplines: sequence, classify, evaluate. And then something more specific to math, the square root, exponent, plus, minus, greater or equals to. An academic conversation tool that we can use to enhance our vocabulary in our lesson plans could be a graphic organizer. So for example, putting on the right hand side, writing words such as twice as many, and on the other side of the box on the right hand side means that 2x. So x is the hidden value of the problem that it is referring to. Or putting language such as, or vocabulary such as more, and on the right hand side that symbol of plus. Is and make means equal, and in that case it would be for solving word problems. So the graphic organizers can help us help students lessons to be enhanced. Discourse. So this is how members of the discipline talk, write, and participate in knowledge and construction. The discipline-specific discourse has distinctive features or ways of structuring oral or written language. So, for example, the two-column proof, interpreting graphs or diagrams, making and supporting as a conjecture. So an academic conversation tool is Rally Coach. So in Rally Coach, one student, students are paired with another student, and one student walks the other student into solving a problem. It could be any type of problem, but one student is to have a pencil and a paper, and the other student tells tells a student with the pencil, okay, well, write down 2x equals 5. Write down the next step is this. So the discourse in this situation is that, they're talking to each other. One is talking, one is listening and writing. And with this tool of Rally Coach, it's a good way to enhance your discourse in your lesson plan in math. Syntax is pretty much just the rules or symbols together into phrases. And one of the main functions of syntax is to organize language in order to convey meaning. So in mathematics, it could be a mathematical sequence, noun phrases, conditional sequences. So some academic conversation tools in math that we can use are things like PEMDAS, where there is structure and language conveys some meaning. So the P means for parentheses first, then the exponent, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. Or another way, another academic conversation tool could be using manipulatives. So for example, using algebra tiles to teach trinomials, where the big square is the x square, the long skinny is the x, and the little square would be your ones. So together, you can use that to kind of introduce trinomials into your math lesson. Mathematical precision is just pretty much being precise and accurate with definitions and symbols and labeling, measurements, and numerical answers. So for example, making sure that the students write their x and y axis correctly, specifying units of measure, following the flow or rules to calculate with precision. So an academic conversation tool that can be used in math would be kind of like this thing called the round robin. In round robin, students are placed in groups of 5 to 7 students, and they are in a table. The teacher provides the problem, and then the first student writes down the first step to the solution. The second student looks at that first step and either corrects it or continues the problem if the process is correct, and so on until the students in a group solve a problem together. So that is a good way to write this. Thank you so much. I talked to you about the academic languages in math, the 5 language demands of function, vocabulary, discourse, and syntax in mathematical precision. Thank you so much.